to the premiere episode of The Professional Path. I'm Grace, and I am honoured to be your guide from Trinity English Scholar. In our last lab, I promised to dissect the professional path and critically how to execute the high-stakes manoeuvre of disagreeing with a CEO. This is not a task for the faint of heart, nor for the unprepared. If you are here, you've moved beyond mere linguistic proficiency. You are now entering the nuanced, often treacherous, realm of executive strategy and influence. Today, we are unveiling the first critical module of our flagship masterclass, the Boardroom Blueprint. We begin at the very foundation, understanding and mastering the boardroom hierarchy. Every single move you make, from the moment you step foot into that room, is a calculated signal. Most professionals, when faced with a high-stakes boardroom, succumb to instinct. They look for the nearest empty chair, they fidget with their notes, they wait, often anxiously, for the important people to speak first. This, my friends, is a fundamental misstep. On the professional path, your entry is your first declaration of intent. It is your initial opportunity to establish your presence, your confidence, and your perceived value, even before you utter a single word about the topic at hand. We call this the anchor entrance. It's deceptively simple, yet incredibly powerful. Think of it not as entering a mere room, but as occupying a strategic space. When you walk in, do not rush. Do not betray nervousness. Do not immediately engage in small talk or seek validation. Instead, walk with purpose, with a measured stride, to your designated area. Place your materials, be it a sleek laptop or a minimalist folder, down with a deliberate, unhurried motion. Allow your eyes to sweep the room, making calm, confident eye contact with key individuals, especially the most senior person present. That brief 3 to 5 second pause before you even utter a single "good morning" is not an awkward silence. It is an act of anchoring. It allows the room to register your arrival, to acknowledge your presence, and to subtly integrate you into its dynamic on your terms, not theirs. This deliberate pause signals that you are not reactive, not eager to please, but rather you are intentional, composed, and fundamentally in control. It communicates that your time is valuable and you are choosing to allocate your attention deliberately. This seemingly minor act sets the tone for your entire participation. It shifts the energy. Instead of you adapting to the room subtly adapts to your entrance. This is the first vital step on the professional path, because without this anchor, your eventual disagreement with a CEO sounds like unsolicited noise. With it, your disagreement becomes a critical, considered insight. Now, let's talk about the absolute strategic imperative of seating within the Boardroom Blueprint, which brings us directly to what we at Trinity call the proximity paradox. Many aspiring leaders mistakenly believe that the closest seat to the CEO or the most senior leader is inherently the most powerful. This, more often than not, is a profound strategic trap. Proximity, particularly the seat directly adjacent to the power center, can indeed signify a degree of trust, but it frequently positions you as the shield, the immediate sounding board, yes, but also the first line of defense, and frankly, the first to absorb the brunt of any unexpected criticism or pressure. It makes you an extension of the primary leader, rather than an independent, influential force. On the professional path, our goal is independent, influential power that allows for strategic dissent. Therefore, we meticulously avoid direct adjacency and absolutely the confrontation zone, the seat directly opposite the lead, which inherently sets up a dynamic of direct, often adversarial opposition. The true strategic sweet spot, the advisor seat, is typically positioned 2 chairs to the right of the primary decision maker. Why precisely 2 chairs? This specific position offers a distinct, multifaceted advantage, crucial for strategic disagreement. You are close enough to be considered a trusted confidant, privy to subtle non-verbal cues, and able to offer timely, discreet insights without appearing to overtly challenge authority. Yet, crucially, you are far enough removed to maintain an objective perspective, to avoid being directly implicated in every minute micro-decision, and to offer your contributions with the gravitas of someone who is observing and strategizing across the broader landscape. This position also grants you a superior, unobstructed line of sight to the entire table, allowing you to read body language, gauge reactions from all participants, and anticipate shifts in the discussion, a paramount skill for anyone intending to introduce a dissenting viewpoint. Furthermore, if you are presenting, this angle allows you to subtly direct attention from the primary leader to your presentation materials without making them feel overtly challenged. It's about being in the orbit of power, not directly in its shadow. Understand that every seat in that room sends a precise, non-verbal message. The corner seats, for instance, are often perceived as either too peripheral or, conversely, too isolated, depending on the dynamic. The very middle of the table can make you feel exposed if you haven't absolutely mastered your presence. By consciously choosing the advisor seat, you are signalling that you are not just a participant, but a strategic asset, a keen observer, and a trusted counsel, all while maintaining a psychologically safe distance from immediate, direct scrutiny. This is a subtle yet profound exercise in non-verbal communication, and it forms a core tenet of the Boardroom Blueprint, the essential stage setting for when it's time to respectfully, yet firmly, challenge the prevailing wisdom, even from the top. Beyond where you sit, and crucially, how you position yourself, how you articulate dissent, is the pinnacle of executive communication on the professional path. We at Trinity English Scholar understand that direct, unbuffered contradiction of a CEO is professional suicide. Instead, we employ what we call the linguistic pivot. This is where the true art of disagreement lies. When you need to offer a counterpoint to a CEO, you do not start with, "I disagree." You do not say, "That's wrong." Such phrases are emotionally charged, combative, and instantly shut down dialogue. Instead, you employ the pivot. The pivot begins with acknowledgement and alignment. For example, "I completely agree with the strategic direction of CEO's point, and the imperative for innovation that you've highlighted is paramount. My perspective offers a complementary path to achieve that exact mandate with a slightly different execution." Do you see what happened there? You affirmed their objective, borrowed their high-value language like innovation and mandate, and then subtly introduced your alternative as a complementary path, not a contradiction. Your voice must remain calm, measured, and confident. There is no tremor, no rush. This is not a debate. It is an offering of a superior strategy, delivered with respect. Another effective pivot involves leveraging transparency. If a CEO proposes a course of action you believe is flawed, you can say, "To ensure full transparency and mitigate potential future risks, I'd like to explore the implications of CEO's proposal if market conditions shift by X%. My data suggests an alternative scenario that could be optimized by considering your alternative." You're not saying they're wrong, you're just being transparent about potential outcomes and offering an optimized solution. This reframes the disagreement not as a challenge to their authority, but as a commitment to shared success and due diligence. This is not manipulation, it is advanced diplomacy. It is the sophisticated use of language to guide rather than to confront. It allows you to introduce your perspective, safeguard your professional standing, and subtly redirect the conversation towards your desired outcome, all while reinforcing the CEO's leadership. This is the essence of what it means to truly operate within the Boardroom Blueprint. Every word, every seat, every silence is a calculated move on the professional path. Your presence is your performance, and your dissent is your most refined strategic tool. Thank you for joining me on this premiere episode of The Professional Path. Next time, we will continue this journey by unlocking the profound power of strategic silence, how saying nothing can paradoxically be your most impactful communication. Until then, remember, master the blueprint, master your destiny. I'm Grace from Trinity English Scholar, and your path is just beginning.